Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Better Late with Mariela. I'm here, I'm back, I'm alive. I am not depressed anymore. I am not thriving, but I am here. And I wanted to show up and I wanted to tell you guys that I didn't release an episode last week because life has been lifing hard. I don't think anyone is unaware of everything that's been going on, not only in the country that I currently live in, but also in the world. Um, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of uncertainty. There is a lot of fear. There is a lot of changes in the horizon. And I kind of also, I don't know what the word in English would be for this, but in Spanish we say I was somatizando, like all of like the stress and like the worrying and everything that was like my heart and my brain were feeling. It like got together and it decided to fuck up my entire immune system and I got a really crazy cold. I've been sick for like 3 weeks. I had to go to the urgent care. I had to get like some oxygen thing, some like hard meds. And yeah, it was a lot. Your girl was like it was like 80% phlegm and then the rest was just sass. Because you know me. But now I'm better. I'm so much better. I think I'm not going to cough during this episode. We shall see what will happen because I haven't also spoken for so long because I really have just been like taking this cough syrup that doses me off and or watching TV and or also this is a cute update. I got fired from one of my survival jobs. So I've also been job hunting and at times not being able to go to said interviews because they are in a place where I need to go be a human for, and I can't be a human if I'm like snotty and completely coughing, and I don't want to get anyone sick. So I try to think it's because they were not meant for me or like, there's something better coming on. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little update on what's been going on in my life. I also wanted to say that I recently was told that, okay, so better late, right? Better late. We get to things at our own timeline and it's fine because we're showing up. At least we're doing things. Turns out, and this is not news to me, turns out that's not great for a lot of things. It's like great in the big sense of, achieving goals and doing things. But I have learned that when there are other people involved who are on the same deadline as you or are expected to be at a place at the same time as you got to be on time. You got to be on time. And that is something that your girl needs to work on because this has been an issue for me. I don't want to blame it on my Latino-ness. Although I know a lot of us kind of feel the same. Like in Venezuela, I know if there's a meeting at 2 p.m. and you get there at like 2:10, you're fine. If you get there at 2:15, you're fine. You get there at 2:30, okay, you're a little late. You get there at 2, holy freaking shit, how are you so early? If you get there early, it's like, well, you don't have a life. You need to find more things to do with your life. You need to get busier. Here, no, it doesn't flow like that. And this is not news to me, like I said. When I lived in New York, I was taking a UCB class. Gosh, this is a deep cut little coming out of the closet that I'm going to give to you guys. I don't think I've told this to anyone, but I was doing UCB, and pardon my mucus in my hand. I'm just trying to, do this the most elegant way as possible. You'll see me try multiple times. It's just like I don't want to lose the glamour. No quiero perder el glamour, mami. I was late to this class twice, 15 minutes late. I was in New York. It was my first time living in the city, and I was like trying to find out the best ways to get to class. And I was also probably hungover from a date that I went to the night before. And I was just living, okay? I was just living life. I was just a girl. I am just a girl. It turns out UCB does not let you approve a course if you are 2 days late. I lost the class. I paid like $500 for that class that I lost. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And recently, and this is the part that makes me really want to make a change about it, is casting, right? So, how things are working right now in the industry of filmmaking or audiovisual stuff is that a lot of things are self tapes, right? So, right now, I have a manager and I have an agent, and they'll send me auditions for different things, and they'll send it to me. And as soon as I see it, I know when the deadline is. Like, there's this date at this time. They tell you Eastern or Pacific time, so you don't have like, oh, I thought it was. No, no, no. They're telling you exactly at what time you need to send it. What happens to me is that I don't know why I kind of run on adrenaline, and it makes me so much more excited to be like, I'm going to catch this and it's going to be great. And sometimes I send a lot of these auditions like 5 minutes before the time is due, even though I've had like 2 or 3 days to do it because I am a big old procrastinator. And recently I learned that it's actually messing up my chances of booking things. And I didn't realize this. I thought because they give it all this time, I'm sure they're going to go through all the submissions. But in this particular scenario, you have to be early. Like, I heard from a couple of people that work in casting that if you don't submit your audition 48 hours after the submission has gone, you basically are not considered anymore because they get so many faces. I don't know, per role that I auditioned for, probably like 200, 300 people are sending in their stuff. And if you don't send it before, they're not going to see 300 people. They're not going to think like, no, we really need to go through all of them because I know 289 is going to be the perfect one. It's like, no, they kind of find someone. They're like, yeah, cool. We've seen enough. I don't know. We've seen 50 and now this is the one. So that is something that I need to work on. It takes a lot of work though, because now post COVID, auditions, you have to self-tape, right? So you have to do them yourself. You have to find a time and a place where you can be in a quiet space with a plain background, with lights and with perfect silence outside. You can't have a leaf blower or some drilling or your neighbor I don't know, recording a podcast next door or anything. You have to have the most silence possible because anything that is distracting in your audition is going to mess up your chances. So that is something that I really need to start working on. Like right now, for example, I am recording this and I have a self-tape to do right after. And it's due on Monday, but it is Saturday today. So I'm going to send it today. Exactly. Should I have sent it before? They sent it to me on Thursday. Am I going late already? Maybe, but okay, I'm working on it. It's right. I don't know why I'm just so sure you guys are judging me like, oh my God, she's not going to do it. Whatever. I've been talking to a lot of people that have told me, listen, you're not booking these things. Big part is you're not sending them on time. And so I'm going to start sending my shit on time because I want to be considered and I don't want something to play against me that is not anything to do with my abilities. And that sucks because at this point, after 5 years living in LA, I have a pretty cool self-tape setup. I have my gray background, I have my lights, I have everything I need to have a perfect editing and to do all the things. So there's no excuse. And that's on me. And that is what's going on with me at this time. But there is something that I wanted to talk about. Look at me introducing props. There's something that I wanted to talk about. Sabrina Carpenter just released a song that I love. I'm obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter. Yes, she's a pop queen. Yes, aesthetics, the looks, the performance. She's been doing it for so long. She's so comfortable on stage. She's great. And she has the vocals. And there's something about her that's so spunky. She's very sexually positive and aware of the reaction she causes, and she uses it to her advantage. And I love that she just released a song called Manchild. Now, I love that Sabrina brought this to the table because I've been speaking of the Manchild, of the men children for a while now. Probably the last year, I've been using the word a lot. that. And first of all, I'm going to go to a very reliable source to explain to you exactly what a man-child is. Obviously, I'm going to the Urban Dictionary. Reliable source. Man-child. A grown man who is very immature, therefore considered a man-child. A man by age, but a child in mentality and actions. Usually an inability to get over the frat boy or party boy phase. Can't have fun without a beer, oftentimes brews his own beer. Still relates to women as sex objects, even if they're married, and are emotionally undeveloped. A general irritant to women and men that have matured. Okay, so this is what Urban Dictionary says about man-child. I don't know if LA is the place where the man-child was born, because there's another phenomenon here, and it is the Peter Pan syndrome. So what happens is, I think, and I'm going to say this with all the responsibility that it may carry, I think we are experiencing a bad batch of men. I think men that were born around the 1980s until like 95, bad batch. It's rotten. Ooh, it's rotten. It's just not functioning. There is something about the men that were born in that time that just don't match the evolution that women have had in the last few decades. I think, okay, there's something very relevant here, and it is women now require more, right? Our standards are way higher because we're not getting married at 16. A lot of us are not getting married at 23, 24. A lot of us are like well into our 30s. A lot of people are in their 40s, and they find the love of their life, the person that they want to be with forever, later in life, which is really cool. But it makes it harder because when you're in your early 20s, when you're like, I mean, I don't know anyone that's gone married in their teens besides someone that probably had like a teen pregnancy, or like my grandmothers. What happened with them was that they couldn't really have sex until they got married. And it was like really, really installed in their brains that that's what they had to do. Why do you think these people are getting married so young? Why the rush? So they can start having sex. Duh. And if that's what is driving your decision to spend a significant, if not all life amount of time with someone, it's ridiculous. Your frontal lobe is not fully developed to begin with. Second of all, who you are in your early 20s usually has nothing to do with who you are in your 40s. My grandma, one of my grandmothers, she got married, I think it was like 18, to my grandfather, who was a 35-year-old divorcee with 2 kids. We're talking about like a crazy scenario. I wonder who in this day and age would, at 18 years old, come in and tell their family, their parents, whatever, like, hey, so I met this guy. He's 35. He has 2 kids. He's divorced, and I'm going to marry him. And everyone's going to be fine with that. At that time, it was perfect. It was amazing. It's like, oh, well, he's a grown man. He has experience in this and that. But like, this girl did not. So it's like, how is it there? And then my grandma they had a beautiful marriage and beautiful love story for them. It worked out. They built a business. They like installed something in their city that is to this day monumental, and it's amazing. But I don't think that would fly so much in this day and age. So if women were getting married so young, they didn't have like a lot to require from the other person besides like the normative of like, well, I'll be home, and then maybe or I can have a career, but it's not too like time consuming because I still need to raise the kids, and then my man is the one that's going out there to like provide all of those things that we know are super outdated. Now, what is happening now is this: women are not getting married as young, which means we are living, which means we are having relationships, which means we're having job opportunities, which means we're pursuing dreams. And with that, life is happening, right? So we understand ourselves so much better, and we understand what we require much better because we learn how to give it to ourselves. We're not expecting anyone to give it to us, but we're actually working on that. And this is, I know it's, I can't speak for the general public. This is just like, I know my good friends in my same age range or maybe a little older. This is what it is. A lot of us are single, and a lot of us are like, men are just not working these days. I don't know if it's because LA is a big city and it's just like there's so many options or whatever, and men are not really required to grow up because society is not requesting them to do so or like pushing them to do so, which is great because you should make your own decisions. But also, like, what is a girl like me supposed to do? I've been doing therapy. I know myself. My standards are high, but not ridiculously high. Like, I just want you to be taller than me and to be ambitious and to be emotionally available and aware of your shit and not think that you're perfect, but understand what your things are and know if that you can work on them, because we all can. It's just like a decision. That's kind of it. I'm not even asking for like money. I know a lot of women that are like, he has to have so much money. I would like the money. Yes, I would, because why not? I would love a man to pay for some things. Yes, that is true. But that's not my end all be all. I also want like a friendship. I want like, I have this on my Hinge profile. I want a best friend I can't stop making out with. Isn't that a good line? That is what I'm looking for. And recently I've found like either friends that I don't want to make out with or people that I want to make out with, and, you know, but they're not anything else but a pretty face and body, which is very sad. And a lot of them are Manchilds, like men in their 30s, like late 30s, 40s. I don't really get to the 50s because I feel like, I don't know, I'm still a baby. I'm not a baby. I just feel like there's so much left for them to understand about themselves. And I don't hate men. I freaking love men. I adore them. I would love to have one. Get me one of those. Yes. But we got to talk about this. And I would love for women that watch this podcast to tell me if this is just me, which I don't think, or you also think we're experiencing a bad batch of men that are like either lying about how aware and in touch with their feminine side as we want them to be, or like, I don't know. It's hard to understand these days. And for example, TikTok is a great example. I see a lot of men on TikTok, very attractive men. And they are talking about, you know, how they really understand women and how I don't get how men do. They like bash other men, like as a comparison on this is how I think, super forward, and like this person is just like doesn't know, bruto, Manchild. Because I understand women better, and I know this, and I understand that women's rights and this and that and equality, and they talk about all these things, and it is such a lie. It is such a lie. I went out with someone on TikTok that I saw that was very handsome, and that he was talking about all these things, and he was just like, I just don't understand. Like, man, why can't you just like understand a girl and be like, he was, I hate it. Now he's an actor, which it is very sad on my part that I didn't see that before. Whatever, career change. He used to be like in personal fitness, whatever, worked at Equinox. But I reached out to him because I was like, I think this guy has it together. He understands things. I would love to meet him in person and see if it's like a match. I honestly was expecting him to be and speak the same way that I was seeing on TikTok, because I feel like what works best on TikTok is genuine, organic stuff. People that are actually the way that they are saying that they are. And I was like, hey, tacos on Tuesday. And he was like, sure. And we grabbed tacos. This man was so rotten. Like, he kept complaining on TikTok about how he couldn't find love and it was hard for him, and like he was really like trying to settle down and find the love of his life and all these things. And then we were talking, I was like, yeah, no, I like definitely am not in that mindset a lot. Like, I just want to go out and have fun. And I'm sad that we made out. He was really attractive. He still is. And I hate that he still comes up in my For You page. But he was just weird. He was just very like forward and like, I don't know. I don't think the people that watch this podcast are super traditional. So the fact that I reached out through DMs and we went out, maybe for a lot of people in Venezuela has them like clutching their pearls, like, oh my God, on the internet. But like, that's normal. It's fine. And I am a confident woman. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, I told you guys, no what ifs on this side. But he was just like, he had a weird energy of like, he was just thinking we were going to hook up just because I DM'd him. And I didn't say anything like flirty. I was literally like, do you want to grab tacos on Tuesday? And he was just not at all what it is on TikTok. So now I'm biased because I see all these men. He's not the first one. He's not the only one. He's not going to be the last of him, that are like giving advice to other men, but in a way that is thirsty because they know it's bait for women. They know that women are going to be like, oh my God, you are so attractive and you're so woke. And I love that. And oh my God, how are you still single? Because it's a lie, babe. And he probably has a roster, which is not something I would judge. I have a roster too. It's just a different way of using it. I have a roster. When I say I have a roster, that means I have a couple of guys I have a crush on and that I am going on a few dates with or about to go on a date with, or like I'm talking to, and I'm like, okay, this is the roster. But ultimately, the roster is to break the brackets and get to one. That's what my roster is for. For men, I feel like, please tell me if I'm wrong, the roster is like just this, all these women in rotation that they are seeing at the same time, sleeping with at the same time, and telling all of them that they are the only one. Amen, child. Commit. Or don't, but be upfront about it, right? I don't know if this is something that happens in LA because it's LA. I lived in Miami and I felt a very similar vibe there. I lived in New York and definitely experienced the same. If I moved to like Oklahoma or Minnesota, am I going to find the love of my life there? Is it going to be easier? Maybe these men are not as like, I don't know, emotionally corrupted or just as messed up as here. And they're more like, this is crazy because I've evolved so much and now I just want a little bit more traditional. Isn't that wild? Huh. But I don't want to live in Oklahoma because this is where I want to pursue my life. And I like cities and I like exciting cities. And I like having an exciting life that I can also enjoy by myself. I feel like in Oklahoma, I don't know why I'm so stuck in Oklahoma. Let's say Kansas. Let's say, I feel like Texas might be the same as like all the other big cities. Okay, let's keep it Oklahoma just for the sake of the conversation. I don't know how fun it could be to be a single woman in Oklahoma. I know how fun it is to be a single woman in LA, in New York, in Miami. I go to things all the time by myself. There's always opportunities to do things like that. There's like so many events where you can meet people. There's so many bars that are like cool if you go by yourself. It's not dangerous, it's not weird. I like go to the movies by myself all the time. I've been to plenty of concerts by myself. And I know a lot of my friends are like, really? Was it fun? I'm like, the most fun. You do the line for merch as long as you want to do it. And you eat or drink or do whatever you want as much as you want to. And you sing and you have fun. And sometimes you meet people around you. Am I going to stop doing things that are really fun for myself just because I don't have anyone to do them with? That's stupid. That's stupid. I'm just waiting for life to happen. I can't do that. I have a theory. I wrote it here because I didn't want to forget. I'm trying to be more structured. I went to sushi yesterday with one of my best friends, and he was like, "You just need to be a little more structured in your podcast." And I'm like, "I don't know how to do that. You're my friend. You know how I talk. I like branches are my thing." I have a theory, and I have a theory, and I don't want people to get me wrong. I think the love of my life is currently married. And I need him to get divorced. I don't want to push it. I don't want to cause the divorce. I just feel like a man that has already been caught, probably in his early 20s or mid 20s. He was a good guy, got snatched up. Some beautiful woman, amazing lady took him. Great. I need her to release him. Again, back into the pool. Maybe something didn't happen to them. Maybe they're fighting. Maybe they've been fighting a lot. Maybe she wants to pursue a different city. Maybe she wants to pursue a different career. Maybe she voted for Trump and he didn't. And then the marriage is ending. So what is happening there is that this man is in his fully developing stage of becoming an eligible bachelor. Because what? Divorce is probably going to traumatize him and it's going to get him to look at himself and understand things about himself and do some work that if you're just like single and putting your dick whatever you find a spot, you're not working on, you're not thinking about, you just don't like. There's women that settle for very little. There's women that really don't care. So if you go through all of that, you come out on the other end, you start working out a lot because you want to get hot again. Maybe you've developed a few little grays. I'm into that. But I don't want to be waiting. You know what I mean? Like, just get divorced already. I want to catch you at your like 38, 40. If you have a kid, listen. I was a kid of a single dad, so I know how it goes. I know how to be cool with your kid. I know how we're going to get along. And I know how I'm not going to step on their toes. Because I got stepped on a lot. So just get divorced already. Better late than never. Get divorced and find the love of your life. I don't know. Tell me, guys. Am I crazy? Is this like a crazy way of thinking? Or am I onto something? Please tell me. Whenever you have a chance, go out, see the dating pool. The great men that are nice, hot, and like have their shit together, they're in a relationship that they've been on for a while. They just proposed. Or they're married, they look a little annoyed, and they're gonna get out of that. Is it just in Miami? Is it just in New York? Is it just in LA? Or is it in Oklahoma? You, person that is watching Better Late from Oklahoma, tell me what's up. Do you agree with this? All right. I've been yapping a lot today. I had things to say. I don't know what to tell you. And can you imagine me being not able to talk to people for like 2 weeks because I've been sick and coughing and snotty, which I haven't coughed in the episode, and I am very proud of that. I also haven't been to Pilates or the gym or anything, and I think I'm going crazy. The job hunt is going good, guys. Yesterday, I was like, let's print some resumes. Let's go to some places. Let's go to some restaurants. Bring it. I dropped 4 resumes. I had 2 job interviews. And I already got a proposal for a job to start next weekend. Hey, we got this. I'm going to start not being so late to things. I'm going to start recording episodes, not the day before. They have to. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, for being here, for commenting, liking, subscribing, sending it to people that you think are going to relate to this. If you have a friend that is on my same theory of Manchild and we need to get them to graduate to men only, and sometimes that happens because of a divorce, send them this episode. I want to be friends with them. I want to know what they think. You know where to find me. You know where to follow me. You know where to like everything. And that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.